Hi, good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha Television this Saturday morning. The perfect show to kickstart your day, bringing you the top national, international, sports and business news. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor and here are the headlines. Opposition members seek privileged proceedings against media houses for airing expunged remarks of Samajwadi Party MP Naresh Agarwal. Chairman asks Rajya Sabha Secretariat to inquire into the incident. Shankar Singh Waghela resigns from Congress. The party denies allegations that he was sacked. Waghela claims that he will not join the BJP or any other party. Army Jawan killed in ceasefire violation by Pakistan Army in Rajouri district of Jammu and Kashmir. 11 people killed so far this month in Pak firing. US blocks a $350 million aid to Pakistan, says Islamabad hadn't taken sufficient action against the Haqqani terror network. And White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer quits. Reports say that he was upset over Trump administration's appointment of new communications director. First up, news from Parliament. Opposition members in the upper house on Friday sought privilege proceedings against some media houses for disseminating expunged remarks of SP MP Naresh Agarwal. Now, the chair informed the House that the Secretariat has been instructed to issue show cause notices.
Raising the issue during Zero Hour, Naresh Agarwal of the SP alleged that youth wing members of the ruling party vandalized his house in Delhi, while a BJP worker filed an FIR against him in Meerut in connection with his expunged remarks.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी इस तरीके के माहौल को खराब कर रही है। अगर यही रही तो स्मृति ईरानी जी ने जो कहा था, दुर्गा देवी के लिए जो पढ़ा था, दुर्गा देवी को जो गाली पड़ी थी, वो क्यों नहीं आप लोगों ने लिंचिंग में लिया? मैंने अगर कोट पढ़ दिया तो उस कोट को उन्होंने ले लिया कि जैसे मैंने देवी देवताओं का अपमान कर दिया है।
Other opposition parties also lent support to Agarwal and stressed that the broadcast of the expunged remarks violated the chair's ruling.
It has become a favorite pastime for the evening programs in many TV studios just to berate, defame, insult, castigate parliamentarians and the institution. It has become a regular practice. Now what has been said in one TV channel that we will drag him out, the member. It's not a question of which member. A member speaks in the House. Now the channel has been named by the honorable member. That channel must be given the notice. They must be summoned.
इस सदन में बोली हुई चीज पे बाहर केस दर्ज किया जा रहा है। कैसे हो यानी लिंचिंग नहीं हो सकती। लिंचिंग जो है वो यानी विंडिकेट होता है। यानी एक मेंबर को यानी धमकाने का, उसके घर जाने का, उसके घर को काला करने का, हरदोई जाने का, ये क्या मामला है? मंत्री जी आपको जरूर जवाब देना चाहिए। ये क्या हो रहा है?
डेमोक्रेसी को हम इंडोर्स नहीं करते हैं। हमारे कंप्लेंट था, आपने कल्चर का जन्म दिया थ्रू योर गवर्नेंस प्रैक्टिस, उसको काटा गया, हम मान लिया, और वो एश्योरेंस के साथ साथ यू हैव लेट लूज योर goons against the people who are opposing you. ये क्या है? What culture this is?
Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi said the House can take action as per rules, adding that the government was against any kind of violence.
इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडिया भी उससे भरा हुआ है और प्रिंट भी भरा हुआ है, तो हमने तो कभी प्रिविलेज की बात नहीं करी। इसलिए जो है वो फिर भी जो सदन के नियम है, जो संसद का नियम है, उस संसद के नियम के तहत चेयर जो है वो आवश्यक कार्रवाई कर सकता है।
Dissatisfied SP and Congress members, however, walked into the well, demanding action against the media houses. Deputy Chairman PJ Kurian then adjourned the House till noon.
House is adjourned up to 12:00 hours.
After the House reassembled, Chairman Mohammad Hamid Ansari informed members that the Secretariat has been asked to inquire into the matter.
I have received notice from some members raising a question of privilege against a TV channel and some newspapers for making defamatory remarks against a member of this House. The Secretariat has been asked to issue a show cause notice and further inquire into the matter.
The Samajwadi members' remarks came during the short-duration discussion on the reported increase in incidents of lynching and atrocities against minorities and Dalits on Wednesday. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
News from the lower house in the Lok Sabha on Friday passed a bill which seeks to give 8.5 lakh unqualified teachers appointment after the implementation of the Right to Education Act another chance to get recognized degrees. Now, the amendment bill gives them the final chance till March 2019 to get their degrees. After that, they will be in danger of losing their jobs. When the RTE Act was implemented in 2010, new schools were set up, but qualified teachers were not available. As a result, unqualified teachers, including those with graduation degrees, were recruited. Now, they were given 5 years to get qualified for their profession. Now, despite that, 6 lakh private school teachers and 2.5 lakh government school teachers continue to educate without proper qualification.
सीख रहे हैं लाखों की तादाद में, अच्छे सर्टिफिकेट पा रहे हैं, तो देश के सबसे अच्छे प्राध्यापक अपना अपना विषय वहाँ लेक्चर देंगे, वहाँ मटेरियल भी होगा, वहाँ ट्यूटोरियल भी होगा, वहाँ इंटरैक्शन भी होगा, एक ऐप होगा, उस पर से लोग सवाल भी पूछते जाएंगे। हर सप्ताह वो आकर शंकाओं का निरसन भी करेंगे। तो जो स्टडी सेंटर में आकर जो होता था वो अब ऑनलाइन होगा।
Meanwhile, the centre has blamed West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee for the ongoing unrest in Darjeeling. Now, Parliamentary Affairs Minister Anand Kumar said in Lok Sabha on Friday that Mamata Banerjee's attitude in handling the Darjeeling issue has been improper, setting the quiet hills on fire. He further asserted that tripartite talks involving the centre, the state and the Gorkhaland Territorial Administration can be held only after peace has been restored in the region. The minister's statement was in response to CPIM MP Mohammad Salim raising the issue in the House.
दार्जिलिंग के स्थिति के बारे में भारत सरकार चिंतित है। वहाँ दार्जिलिंग की स्थिति बहुत ही विकट बनता जा रही है और वहाँ शांति प्रस्तावना होना चाहिए और यदि उस शांत पहाड़ को आग लग चुकी है उसका कारण वहाँ के पश्चिम बंगाल सरकार और पश्चिम बंगाल सरकार के मुख्यमंत्री जी के रवैया और उन्होंने जिसको जैसे हैंडल किया उसके कारण है।
खाद्य मंत्री घोषणा कर रहे हैं वहां के कि हम राशन रोक देंगे, पुलिस को कह रहे हैं राइट टू फूड के अधिकार के तहत हम किसी का खाना पानी नहीं रोक सकते। बाजू में सिक्किम है, अलादा एक प्रांत है, वो भी सड़क वहीं से गुजरती है और गतिरोध की वजह से उनका भी परेशानी हो रहा है। और साथ साथ मैं ये समझता हूं कि केंद्र सरकार की भी जिम्मेदारी है, चूंकि गोरखा टेरिटोरियल अथॉरिटी जब बनी थी, ट्राइपार्टाइट बैठक हुई थी केंद्र, राज्य और गोरखा जनमुक्ति मोर्चा के बीच में।
On to some other news now. Goa BJP President Vinny Tendulkar won the sole Rajya Sabha seat, defeating his Congress counterpart and sitting MP Shantaram Nayak. Now, Tendulkar polled 22 votes, while Nayak bagged 16 in the election that was held at the State Assembly complex on Friday, in which all the 38 state legislatures voted. The 40-member House has its current strength reduced to 38 due to resignation of 2 MLAs earlier. It presently has 16 Congress MLAs, 12 of the BJP, 3 each of the Goa Forward Party, the Maharashtravadi Gopantak Party and the Independents, as well as one of the NCP. Now, Nayak was seeking a 3rd consecutive term, while the tally of the BJP and its allies comes at 21. Tendulkar got 1 more vote, apparently of the lone NCP MLA Churchill Elamau. Now, all the Congress legislators voted for Nayak, contrary to the cross-voting in the presidential poll, in which at least 3 MLAs are believed to have voted for Kovind.
एक एमपी जाना ये महत्व का भी है और इसके साथ पूरा कोएलिशन साथ साथ चल रहा है। गोवा फॉरवर्ड है, एमजीपी है, सबका समर्थन बराबर जैसे है वैसा ही सरकार का आगे जाएगा।
38 में से 22 विधायक हमारे पक्ष में थे और 16 यूपीए के पक्ष में थे। ये जीत भाजपा की है, एनडीए की अलायंस पार्टनर की है और पूरा कष्ट जो मनोहर पर्रिकर जो गोवा के मुख्यमंत्री है, उन्होंने सभी अलायंस से बात करके सर्वसम्मति से उम्मीदवार करके मुझे चुना। इसलिए मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूँ मुख्यमंत्री और हमारे प्रधानमंत्री राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष अमित भाई शाह को भी, सबको मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूँ।
And on to the situation in Darjeeling, where the indefinite shutdown enters its 38th day today. Now, members of the youth wing of the Gorkha Janmukti Morcha have started an indefinite hunger strike to press for their demands for a separate state of Gorkha land. The Morcha supporters began a fast unto death in all the 3 subdivisions of the Hill district. The 30-member Gorkha Land Movement Coordination Committee will hold its next meeting in Delhi on 1st of August to decide on the future course of action. Meanwhile, the centre once again blamed Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee for the unrest in Darjeeling, saying that her attitude and handling of the issue had set the quiet hills on fire.
अनशन शुरू कर रहा हूँ। मैं एक किसी का फोर्स में नहीं हूँ। मुझे किसी ने फोर्स नहीं किया है। मैं एक गोरखालैंड के लिए मैं यहाँ पे अनशन कर रहा हूँ।
अल्टीमेट उद्देश्य और इंटेंशन यही है कि देश को हम लोगों के ऊपर जिस तरह से हम लोग गोरखालैंड मांग रहे हैं, ये गोरखालैंड तुरंत गठन करना चाहिए। बंगाल से बाहर और इंडिया के अंदर में हम लोगों का अपना राज्य गोरखालैंड बनना चाहिए।
Meanwhile, firing a new salvo at the BJP, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee called for a national alliance before the 2019 Lok Sabha polls. Now, addressing a mega rally in Kolkata, the West Bengal Chief Minister said that 18 opposition parties came together for the vice presidential polls and the same understanding will be taken forward ahead of the general elections to oust the BJP from power. She announced the BJP Bharat Choro program in Bengal that will be held from 9th to 30th of August. Now, TMC workers will take out rallies as well as hold public meetings across West Bengal, highlighting what she called was BJP government's failure.
Vice President election আরো দুটো রাজনৈতিক দল আমাদের ক্যান্ডিডেটকে সাপোর্ট করছে। এই দিন থেকে শুরু হবে বিজেপি ভারত ছাড়ো, বিজেপি ভারত ছাড়ো 9 আগস্ট থেকে শুরু হবে এবং এই কর্মসূচি নিয়ে অভিষেক শুভেন্দু নবী অয়ুব বক্সিদার পার্টি প্রেসিডেন্ট মুকুল পাত্র আমি সবাইকে বলছি যত এমপি এমএলএ কাউন্সিলর কমিশনার জেলা পরিষদ গ্রাম সভা পঞ্চায়েত সমিতি বুথ কমিটি ব্লক কমিটি 9 আগস্ট থেকে 30 আগস্ট পর্যন্ত ব্লকে ব্লকে জনসংযোগ চলবে।
On to some other news, former Gujarat Chief Minister Shankar Singh Waghela on Friday said that he had resigned from the Congress party after alleging that he was sacked 24 hours back by the party. Waghela, however, says that he will not join any other party.
Veteran Congress leader Shankar Singh Waghela on Friday formally resigned from all party posts. He alleged that he was not given a free hand for the party's campaign for the assembly election. Waghela made the announcement at a public rally in Gandhinagar. A former chief minister of Gujarat, Waghela claimed that he was expelled from the Congress on Thursday, even before he announced his resignation. He, however, asserted that he had no plans to retire from politics.
मैं अपने आप कांग्रेस को मेरी ओर से मुक्त करता हूं और गजनवीस की कांग्रेस से बीजेपी में कोई पार्टी की नई कंठी नया ऐसा झंडा अपने गले में नहीं लगाना है। अब क्या करेंगे? Not going to join BJP.
The Congress denied Waghela's allegations and claimed he was not sacked.
सभी पदों से इस्तीफा देने का निर्णय उनका अपना है। आदरणीय वघेला साहब ये चाहते थे कि प्रदेश कांग्रेस कमेटी के मौजूदा अध्यक्ष को हटाकर उन्हें अध्यक्ष बनाया जाए। कोई भी पार्टी किसी एक व्यक्ति की इस प्रकार की इच्छा को स्वीकार नहीं कर सकती।
Waghela was a BJP rebel who merged his Rashtriya Janata Party with the Congress 17 years ago. His attacks come just days ahead of the Rajya Sabha elections in Gujarat for 3 seats on August 8th. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
In Breakfast News, we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
के तन में आज मर गए हैं।
अमर है देश मेरा, तुझे रवानी हो।
सिर्फ राज्यसभा टीवी पर।
Welcome back after the break. On to situation in Nagaland, where TR Zeliang won the trust vote in the State Assembly on Friday, bringing to an end the high political drama in the state. Now, Zeliang secured 47 out of the 59 votes in the House. That included 36 votes of the NPF, 4 of the BJP and 7 from the Independents. Former Chief Minister Surozeli Lizitsu bagged 11 votes, 10 of the NPF and 1 Independent. Now, 2 days ago, Zeliang was sworn in, replacing Surozeli Lizitsu, who was sacked by Governor P.B. Acharya. This after Lizitsu and his supporters failed to turn up in the assembly to face a floor test. Now, senior diplomat and MEA spokesperson Gopal Bagle has been appointed as a Joint Secretary to the Prime Minister's office. Bagle would replace Vinay Mohan Quatra in the PMO. Now, Quatra has already been named as India's ambassador to France. Bagle's appointment was confirmed by the Appointments Committee of the Cabinet. He would be designated as the Joint Secretary in PMO for next 3 years. News from Jammu and Kashmir, when army jawan was martyred in ceasefire violation by Pakistani troops in Sudarbani sector of Rajouri along the line of control. Now, officials said that Pakistani army initiated unprovoked firing on Indian army posts in Keri Batal of core area of Jammu. The Indian army retaliated strongly and effectively. In the fire exchange, a rifleman was grievously injured and he succumbed to his injuries later. As per reports, 11 persons including 9 soldiers were killed and 18 people were injured in ceasefire violations by Pakistan this month.
We have also protested to Pakistan in writing about the ceasefire violations that have taken place more, I would say, more significantly, more in numbers, and also in terms of the damage that they have caused. We have told Pakistan that our troops do not initiate ceasefire violations or fire in any way, but they do have to respond to the unprovoked firing from the Pakistani side.
Now, the US has decided to block the disbursement of a $350 million aid to Pakistan after Defense Secretary Jim Mattis told the Congress that Islamabad had not taken sufficient action against the Haqqani network. The decision came days after the State Department, in its annual report on terrorism, named Pakistan among the nations and regions providing safe havens to terrorists. Well, this is not the first time that Pentagon has decided not to make military reimbursements. Last year, the Pentagon had withheld $300 million in reimbursements as well. Now, Pakistan has been reimbursed $550 million of the $900 million that the country was authorized to receive last year. The big story coming in from Pakistan, where the country's Supreme Court on Friday reserved its judgment in the Panama Papers case after it concluded hearing the corruption case against Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and his family. However, the 3-judge bench has not given any date for the announcement of the verdict. The hearings began in the case on Monday, in which Sharif and his family are accused of amassing assets abroad through offshore companies and concealing the information from tax authorities. The assets under the microscope are 4 apartments in Park Lane area of London. Now, opposition party Tehreek-e-Insaf of Imran Khan had filed a petition in the apex court following the publication of Panama Papers. Then a joint investigation team was formed to ascertain whether the Sharifs used legitimate means to purchase the flats. The JIT in its report concluded that Sharif and his children were living beyond their means and had submitted forged documents. Now, if convicted, the Prime Minister can face a disqualification from politics. Elections are scheduled in Pakistan next year. News from the US, where White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer has quit, reportedly in protest at an organizational shakeup. The reports say that Spicer stepped down because he was unhappy with the President Donald Trump's appointment of a new communications director, Anthony Scaramucci. Now, Spicer apparently vehemently disagreed with the Scaramucci's appointment, which he believed to be a major mistake. Meanwhile, Spicer's deputy, Sarah Sanders, has taken over as the new press secretary. Spicer's resignation marked the end of one of the most tumultuous tenures for the White House press secretary, one that saw Spicer repeatedly undermined in his role as the White House public-facing spokesperson by the president's own statements and tweets. The shake-up comes amid several investigations into alleged Russian meddling into last year's US presidential election.
I'd like to read a statement from the President on the resignation of Press Secretary Sean Spicer. I am grateful for Sean's work on behalf of my administration and the American people. I wish him continued success as he moves on to pursue new opportunities. Just look at his great television ratings. Sean will continue to serve the administration through August.
News from the Middle East, where 6 people were killed on Friday in the bloodiest spate of Israeli-Palestinian violence for years. The violence came after the new Israeli security measures at Jerusalem's holiest site. 3 Palestinians were killed in clashes with the police after Israel installed metal detectors at the entry points to the Noble Century Temple Mount compound in Jerusalem's Old City. Now, hundreds others were injured in the violence after days of friction over the holy site boiled over. Now, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas was freezing all contacts with Israel amid the unrest. Now, hours after the violence, 3 Israelis were also stabbed to death and a 4th was wounded in a Jewish settlement in the Israeli-occupied West Bank. Now, Israeli media said that the 3 dead were all the members of the same family. The wounded woman was hospitalized with stab wounds. Now, Israel radio identified the attacker as a 19-year-old Palestinian from West Bank. It said that he was shot, but his condition was not known.
Tonight, we arrived on the scene and we found 3 patients in critical condition. We immediately started life-saving procedures. In addition, there was another wounded person who had a stabbing in their back. And she was transported to the hospital in stable condition.
And Qatar's ruler has said that the Gulf Emirate is ready for a dialogue to resolve a diplomatic crisis with a Saudi-led bloc, so long as his country's sovereignty is respected. Now, Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani said this in his first public comments since Saudi Arabia and its allies severed ties with the gas-rich Qatar. Now, Sheikh Tamim insisted that any deal must not take effect in the form of diktats, but rather through mutual commitments undertaken by all the parties. On 5th of June, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, the UAE and Egypt had cut ties with Qatar, accusing it of backing extremism and fostering ties with their Shiite rival Iran. Doha, however, has denied all the claims. Now, the Emir said in his speech that Qatar was fighting terrorism relentlessly and without compromises, and the international community recognizes this. The crisis between the regional allies is the worst to hit the Gulf in decades.
أي حل لهذه الأزمة في المستقبل يجب أن يشمل ترتيبات تضمن عدم العودة إلى هذا الأسلوب الانتقامي في التعامل مع المواطنين الأبرياء عند حدوث خلاف سياسي بين الحكومات. نحن نثمن عاليا جهود الوساطة التي يقوم بها أخي صاحب السمو الشيخ صباح الأحمد الجابر الصباح أمير دولة الكويت الشقيق.
And switching gears, the much-awaited film Raag Desh, based on the famous Red Fort trials of the 3 Indian National Army soldiers, will be released on 28th of July. While the team behind Rajya Sabha television presentation was in Kolkata to promote it, they were welcomed eagerly by Netaji's family and the general public as well. Take a look.
Located on Elgin Road in Kolkata, the ancestral house of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose is today a museum and research centre. On Thursday, it was the destination of the Raag Desh team who gathered here to honour Netaji.
आज़ाद हिंद फौज पूरे देश की फौज थी और नेताजी पूरे देश के नेता थे और मुझे लगता है पूरे देश के अंदर उनके लिए उतनी इज्जत और प्यार है.
Netaji's family members no longer live in this house, but they look after the upkeep of the museum and its many historical artifacts. Like this car, which a disguised Netaji used in 1941 to escape the detention of the British government and its many spies. Netaji's family members have a special attachment to this well-maintained car that they shared with the Raag Desh team.
My father, to drive him secretly away from this house on the first leg of what became Netaji's great escape from India. And this happened on the night of January 16th, 17th, 1941.
Also visited Kolkata's famous Gujarati College, where they were greeted by excited students. It was a special moment as well for Rajya Sabha TV, that has always taken pride in its responsibility to inform, educate and provide direction to young minds.
So that was the sort of passion that the Indian National Army had, and it's really unfortunate that, we've forgotten our heroes, Shahnawaz, Sehgal and Dhillon.
राज्य सभा टेलीविजन जो एक गंभीर चैनल है, हमने ये तय किया कि हम लोगों तक, आप तक, नई नस्लों तक इस चीज को पहुंचाने के लिए आजादी के उन बंद अध्याय जो आपको आपके सिलेबस नहीं पहुंचाते, हम आप तक पहुंचाने का काम करेंगे.
Raag Desh will be screened for President Pranab Mukherjee at the Rashtrapati Bhavan on Saturday.
आजादी के लिए लड़ने वाली अगर कोई फौज है तो उसका नाम है आजाद हिंद फौज.
Slated for a public release on 28th July, the film depicts the historic trials of Azad Hind Fauj members Shahnawaz Khan, Gurbaksh Singh Dhillon and Prem Sehgal, an incident that eventually paved the path for India's independence.
This film Raag Desh is trying to show the untouched fact about Netaji and also about Indian National Army. This may fill the gap about the knowledge of Indian national movement for independence. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Sabha Television with camera person Prasanto in Kolkata.
And Vice President Mohammad Hamid Ansari on Friday released a book of poems penned by IFS officer Anshuman Gaur. Now releasing the compilation titled Isthmus of Time at his residence in New Delhi, the Vice President said that poetry writing is unlike any other and cannot be done on order or on prescribed subjects. He added that poets write their impressions of the world or the sentiments that they carry within them. Vice President Mohammad Hamid Ansari's wife Salma Ansari also added her note of appreciation for the book. Now, writer Anshuman Gaur, who is also the Vice President's officer on special duty, read out a few lines of his poems.
Each poet writes his or her impressions of the world around or the sentiments that are within him or her.
I have a style and slang of my own, my metaphors and cliches, homegrown. 10 million of us speak this tongue, the smell of curry, lilting sounds and all. They teach it to kids in Jaunpur every day. English is an Indian language, I say.
That's it in this edition of news. Thanks for watching.